Fun.
Okay, let's make sure this thing works.
He's not a good criminal. All right.
Okay, it works. Okay, so this class, just kind of business marketing class, you should have, yeah, sorry, it's off to the side, huh? You should have, I don't think so. Give it a shot.
I'm sure.
You should have like just a weekly calendar for kind of like blocking, and you should have a sheet where you can kind of take notes on the class as well. The blocking will go through like, and as you go through this, you can kind of start to put together a week and put together a block and kind of see what it looks like. And yeah, we'll go from there. So let's make sure your head's not in it. Yeah, your head's in it. It's fine. It's just down at the bottom. You're fine. All the way down. Yeah, you're fine. Okay, so obviously class is created mostly for newer agents, but I think everybody can pull something from this, and it's created to just help you understand and execute, your daily operations of business. I know a lot of people when they start out in real estate, they just don't really know, like, what am I supposed to do every day? What's going on? How do I stay focused and do it? So this is intended to kind of help you with that. So first, let's define what a business is. A lot of people would say, if it won't run without you, it's not technically a business, but you are running at this point a one-man show business. Okay, so even though some people in some classes may tell you, well, it's not really a business because if you go on vacation and work stops, or you have to work on vacation, and that's not a business. But most realtors are one person show. Right. And so we are a business. We are making money. The problem is that you have to do everything. Right. So you have to do your marketing, your production, your customer service, record keeping, customer retention, budget, training, all of that. You have to manage and take over. So it's a lot. And the question I pose here is, how many hours should entrepreneurs put in a week? If you look at some companies that have started very small and become successful, you can think of Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos with Amazon. Like, these guys all started in their garages, right? And they didn't put in 10 to 15 hours a week and expect magic to happen, right? They put in many hours, lost money, you know what I mean, and finally made it. And you can relate that a lot to real estate, because you're going to spend some money up front. You're going to put yourself out there. And if you stay focused and you work enough hours and stay focused and get on it, you're going to then see the rewards of that later. Okay. So if you haven't really seen much of it and you put money out and you're like, man, this is ridiculous, just trust me. If you stay steady and you stay focused, it will pay off. So a weekly schedule, like I said, you should have a handout that has a weekly schedule. I would encourage you to fill it out as we go. Like, okay, Saturday's an open house, right? This, and this. Become familiar with blocking. It really does help people stay focused. A lot, because you are, I don't want to say you're on your own. Obviously you have a support system, but you, on day to day, when you wake up in the morning, you're at the house by yourself, right? And you got to find the motivation yourself. So become familiar with it. Some people like to use it, some people don't, but I do think that it helps you stay on task, at least in the beginning, when you're getting the rhythm of what am I supposed to do every day. Okay. And you guys feel free to chime in and say anything anytime you want. Okay. Okay. So let's see. I said that we're going to say, okay, so we're going to focus on like the essential elements of the business. There's a lot of things people do, a lot of creative stuff. This really doesn't touch much on social media. I think we've all had about 4 to 5 social media classes. Some of us understand it better than others. Some people can use it for their benefit, and some people are just not good at it. But social media is kind of one of those things that you could do a whole class for a couple hours on that and just scratch the surface. You know what I mean? So we're not going to dig into that too much today. But keep in mind when we go through this, the things that I kind of show and teach in this class are low cost, and it's more effort than money. Okay. And that's because, you really don't want to spend a ton of money until you make some money, right? So you got to spend some money up front to get your signs, get your cards, get yourself out there a little bit, but you really do want to keep it very low cost so that you're not going bankrupt as you're trying to build and establish yourself as a real estate agent in the area, right? Okay, so let's talk about first with working with clients. If we have clients already, we're going to assume you have a broker, then team leader that can help you with things, and you can contact them directly. Obviously, in this room, we're all with the same broker. So, so first of all, understanding the contracts and addendums is very important. If you don't have anything else to do and you're not very familiar with them, you should read them. You should study them. When you go to when you're talking to buyers or sellers, but especially let's talk about a listing agreement, and you're giving your presentation and you're there and you're they ask you a question about paragraph 8 and you're like, let me read it. Hold on, I don't even know what that is. That doesn't look very good. You know what I mean? So you want to know the contracts and addendums so that you know, one, what we need to use in all the situations, and two, you have an understanding of it so that whoever your client is feels confident that you know what you're doing. Okay. Okay. So professionalism versus feelings. It's very easy in this business to let your feelings get involved with transactions. And I would. Why did she look at me like that?
Why are you looking
She's
at me?
like, you talking about me?
I think we're all.
I think most of us in this room know that's.
This half of the table is bad about that. Right. Hers is with our heart, mine's with attitude.
Yeah. So.
Mine's attitude too.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, so let's face it. When you're in the middle of a transaction and you're trying to get it closed, and there's opposition from the other side, it can be frustrating, and it can feel like that agent's not necessarily helping you, even though they probably are, just because their client, they seem to be the one, and vice versa. We can get blamed for other people's issues or our clients' issues when we don't agree with them, but it's our job, right? And so we really do when you're especially dealing with your clients, but also with the other agents and with title, you just need to make sure that you're in a frame of mind that you can be professional at all times. If you have a hang up or title says there's something wrong, or the other side doesn't want to pay for certain repairs, or you don't want to pay for certain repairs, people can make that mistake of just picking up the phone immediately, calling their client and having a conversation they never should have had. Or at least in a way they never should have had, right? But if you take 30 minutes, calm down, realize this is just a step, a backward step or whatever you want to call it. This is a hiccup that we're going to get through and figure out. Everybody's got the common goal. So let's just relax for a second, let our client know what's going on, find out what they want to do. Don't get upset, don't get angry. Because when you do that and to anybody, you don't look professional. You know what I mean? You look like you're a little unhinged, and you don't want that, right? You want, especially your clients, you want to be just monotone all the time. You know what I mean? You don't want to get fired up there, or especially if you're dealing with a seller and they want $3,000 from repairs. You're just this is what they want. What do you want to do? You're not going to be like, oh, great, they're trying to blow up the deal. This inspector sucks. Let's just get a different one. No, just, hey, it is what it is. They want $3,000. Do you want to give it to them or not? Yeah. It's very transactional, right? Don't get me wrong. It's not that you can't have empathy for people, but not necessarily sympathy, right? You don't want to feel bad with them. You just want to understand their situation and then try to find the best resolution for all parties. That's the goal, right? So, okay. So clients can be hard to fit into your blocking schedule, right? Because like today they're available at 3 and tomorrow not till 6, right? Especially buyers. They may want to go see houses on Saturday, but then again on Tuesday, and different time frames and everything. So they can be kind of difficult. So you may want to leave like afternoon times a couple days a week, or like Saturdays, block for them before or after an open house, or, you know what I mean? Leave some openings in your schedule so that you can be flexible. And then some things you can just kind of move around. Like if you're saying, okay, I'm going to send out some emails to people like for an hour. I'm going to send some emails and make some phone calls to some friends and family, right? You can change that, right, to any open block that you have. So keep a little bit of openness in there so that you have that flexibility to work with them, okay? And always be marketing, right? I mean, you see me, I wear this shirt everywhere I go every day. You know what I mean? I mean, you guys only see me at work, but everywhere I go, every day. Side note, I had
Pull out my name tag.
yeah, there you go. Name tag or shirt or something, because it's one of the softest marketing things you can do. And we see a lot of people in public. I've had conversations with people at an airport in San Antonio because I had a shirt on and they were like, oh, you know, real estate? I was thinking about investing. And I was like, oh, okay, here we go. So it can happen. But it doesn't, you know, yeah, like I said, name tag or shirt, like it doesn't have to be too much or over the top, or, you know what I mean? Just something that everybody can see. And fun side note, I had my CPA, one time I was using one of those trackers, mile trackers, you know, and I was like, okay, this is work, this is not. And I think like 65% of my miles were work, right? And he saw that form and saw that, and he's like, that's wrong. Oh, what do you mean? I literally just tracked every trip I made. And he's like, well, I mean, you're working and marketing everywhere you go, right? And I said, yeah, absolutely. Okay, so like we'll do 90%. So because even if I go to church and I have this shirt on, I'm marketing. That's what he told me. So, but you should do that. Now, are you going to get deals from it all the time? No, but every once in a while you're going to have that conversation. You're going to get that contact, and that's going to make it all worth it, because it really takes next to nothing to do it. You know what I mean? Okay, so let's talk about a little bit of like marketing type stuff. And the first and one of the least expensive is door knocking and farming. Choose a neighborhood that's got a good number of houses. You know, and you want it to be something that has your goals. Like if you in your career want to be known as somebody that's in luxury, I suggest you do that after like 4 or 5 years in the business. Okay. Because they're far and few between deals. They're larger dollar amounts. So typically in most markets, they sit on the market longer. And so if you're kind of like not in a financial place to do that, then let's pick something that's a more faster moving, you know, thing like 300 to 400 is really good for most people to start. You can start on the lower end and probably pick up quite a few, but then you got to do a lot more to get the same income. So kind of that middle ground is a great neighborhood to probably start at, you know, 300, 400, like I said. There are title companies that will help you make the flyers, print the flyers, you know, for different promotional materials. It'll probably have their brand on it, but you can put yours on it too, which is, I mean, not a problem for me if it's free, right? I mean, again, low cost, you know, this is something, and actually knocking on the door is most effective, right? If you just throw a flyer up there, they're just going to throw it away or get pissed off that, you know, that Tammy Irvin left this on my door, right? Because your name's on it.
Remember that guy thought that we
were marking the house.
Yeah, we were marking the house so that we could come back and rob it.
Yeah. You guys do look like criminals, though. So.
Yeah. We went and checked his car and everything to see if we put like a tag or something on.
Yeah.
So some people are weird like that. You're always going to get people like that, you know. But like I said, so knocking on the door is the most effective, because even if you get a 3 to 5 minute max conversation, at least you got something out of it, and they're less likely to, you know, completely brush you off, right? Now that does, you know, so the passive kind where you just put it on the door, obviously you're going to do that for most of the doors anyways, because not everybody's going to answer. Some of them are going to be home and not answer, right? I mean, that's just facts. So it can work, but you got to be consistent, and you got to be consistent either way. But if you're going to do more of a passive approach, you got to be very consistent with it. You know, they got to, you know how they say you got to be top of mind, right? Like if everybody knows or has heard of or in their neighborhood is 1, 2, 3 realtors. So you got to be top of mind. So if you're going to do it passively, you got to be more consistent with it, more likely. Now, what I have found effective is in order to be able to do a good number of doors and not like burn yourself out or whatnot, or take up too much of your weekly schedule, is like pick a neighborhood that's got like 250 homes, okay, and do like 50 homes a week, and whether that's
Not 200 in a day.
No. Well, because but because you don't have.
We did 400.
Yeah. But you just don't have the time to knock or have a conversation, because you're like, okay, first of all, if it's anything except for November and December and January, it's hot.
Yeah.
Right? And so you don't want to burn yourself out with it, and you don't want to be leaking sweat everywhere when you actually do get someone to answer the door, right? So if you can do 50 homes a week, and whether you want to do that 2 days a week or knock it out in 1 day, that's fine. But 50 homes is very easy to do within 90 minutes.
I highly suggest doing one in the fall and one in the spring, because the summertime is just out.
If you're going to market a neighborhood and farm a neighborhood, though, you should be trying to go to them once a month. You really should.
Then go.
you can always do it first thing in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah.
When it's cooler, or in the evening, or in the evening, like around 7 when it's cooling off.
Why? I'm not sure I want to know. But if you have, let's say you have 200 homes and you do 50 a week, then every 4 weeks, somebody's 50 doors are getting hit, right? And then you just block out, print a map. This is week 1. This is week 2. This is week 3. And then you're only spending a couple hours a week doing that. And then if you do get any response off of it, then you have time to work with them. You're not doing 200 or 300 at the same time. And then if you get a few phone calls, you're like, oh, okay, now I'm stupid busy. And now I can't do the rest of what was on this week's blocking, right? So we hope that it would be that effective. But
with the passive, like, could you consistently send out, a mailer flyer with, market updates or whatever, or something different about, do that monthly?
Yeah, you can. I would say that I would rather, or I would be more inclined if I was kind of new and didn't have a lot going on, that I would put it on their door instead of mail it. Because once you mail it, you're paying for the printing, you're paying for the postage, you're paying about $1 to $1.50 for each one.
Yeah.
And if you figure 200 homes, now I'm paying like $250 a month.
Yeah.
And when I have the time to just go hand them out myself.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Or just like do door hangers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that'd be easier.
Right. And you're not paying,
right. For the postage and all that.
$3,000 a year. Now, don't get me wrong, you get one closing and it paid for itself threefold.
Right.
But, but if you don't have that money out of pocket, you know what I mean, just hit the doors.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I would also say, I know what you're saying is right, but I will say that one of the companies that I ordered those cards from, they actually mailed them for me, and it wasn't very much. That was
like that
Bear.
Cindy told us.
Yeah, that was with Bear.
some are cheaper than others.
I used Wise Pelican, and it ended up being $1 each.
There's some you can get cheaper than that.
Yeah.
Like
Really?
65 cents or something.
Well, and of course, the more you put out, the cheaper it is,
Yes, $50 for a whole new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, there's some that can be a lot better. But I'm just in general,
right. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else on that? Door knocking for me? Okay, cool. Popeyes. These are really good. Pop-ups. These are, so you want to choose a place like commercial that's like densely populated, right? You don't want to go to a little strip mall and do a whole bunch of them. So like Creekside's really good. Those kind of places where there's a lot of things, because it's just more effective. You can touch more people. And you want to be fast and direct with it, like you don't want to just go into a business and try to strike up a long-term conversation when they're working. Huh?
You just go into all the businesses and give them this?
Yeah. So what I did a while back was at Christmas, I got a bunch of cheap little candy canes, and I hole punched my card and tied my card onto a candy cane with a ribbon. And I just went out and handed out candy canes to everybody. And everybody took it because it's a candy cane.
People walking around.
Huh?
Inside the businesses.
In the business, yeah.
Okay.
You walk into a dental office, there's 3 people sitting up front or whatever, you know what I mean? Just give it to them. Hey, this is my name. I'm with Mag Real Estate. Love a chance to earn your business, but here's a candy cane or whatever, but yeah, be quick because they are at work, you know what I mean? And then if you do it somewhat consistently, like at all the holidays, they'll get to know it. They'll be like, oh, look who's back. What do I get this time?
Right.
And then the one day that somebody in that office does need something, you know what I mean? They know who you are, at least, right? So that's that. Those are pretty simple. There's not a whole lot to them, but okay. So making calls. Everybody hates that. Oh no. Right.
I would rather call than do door knocking.
Really?
Yeah.
I hate door knocking.
Okay. See, everybody's different. Everything's a little bit different. I would say this is on phone calls. When anybody says this, right? Everybody starts going to like Mojo Dialer. What is it like? Like cold calling. That's not necessarily what you have to do. That is probably the hardest form of calling, is just straight cold calling people. But you should, especially for the first few years of your business, you should be calling friends and family, ones you haven't talked to or seen for a while, and just have a casual conversation. And, oh, by the way, you know, I still do real estate. Do you know anybody? You got to work it in there subtly. You know what I mean? But just to keep top of mind that, you know, this is what I'm doing now. Any help would be appreciated, right? And if you treat it that way, you might be a little more comfortable doing it. And the more you do something, the more comfortable you're going to get with it. So if you are doing cold calls, or even if it's not a cold call, but it's like a somebody you met at an open house or something, I would suggest having a script, but making it yours. Okay. Like, there's a lot of scripts online. You could even use ChatGPT to make a script for you, right? But you have to change it to your words, something you would actually say, because otherwise it's going to feel and sound weird, right? But it can be very effective to get a script, modify it for yourself, and use it, because it's your words, and it's rehearsed, practiced, known well, and presented well. Make sense? So that's the sphere calling. That's kind of what I already spoke about. The best form of follow-up, don't text unless they do, right? So if you're dealing with a new client, you met them at an open house, I would suggest calling first, not texting. If they don't answer and they text you back, okay, fine, now we can text. But a call is a more direct approach, and maybe a little less comfortable at first, but is going to be more effective in the long run. Okay. Okay, so emailing is like one of those things that nobody opens them anymore, and they're kind of hard to do. But with all of the automation that we have now with software and whatnot, it still should be done. I mean, you can put a contact in and set them up on a drip campaign for the next 2 months with like 3 minutes of work, right? So I guess with emails, it's like, why not? Because some people will open them, and if that nets you one deal a year, I mean, it's worth doing, because it takes so little time, right? And every contact you come across should be put in your CRM and put in a drip campaign. Whether you think they were serious or not, they're a potential client, and they may not be serious today, but next year they might be. And the sooner you can get in that habit and start building that CRM, the quicker it seems to be that your business will take off. There's so many agents that I've talked to that have been in it for like 10, 15 years, and the first 5 years they weren't really committed to it, and then they did, and their business really lit up, and are like, okay, should have done that earlier. So don't make that mistake, and put everybody in, get them on a campaign, follow up with them when you can, and just continue to drive that CRM and build it as big as you can. Even if you have somebody from another business, put them in there, right? You do want to respect the fact if they say like, hey, take me off this, like take them off. But if they don't have a problem with it, then send them everything you can. Okay, so open houses. This is probably my favorite thing. Some of you have heard me say this before, but it's very inexpensive and very effective. Okay, and it gets you a face-to-face, one-on-one with somebody, and it may not be very long, but anytime you can face-to-face with somebody for any amount of time, it's going to be more effective than a phone call or an email or anything, right? They put a name to a face, personality. It's helpful for you. So. And even though, I'll just say this, even though most people go to an open house and they're like, oh, I'm just looking, or no, we're not ready. They didn't come there for nothing, unless they're a neighbor just being nosy, right? Because that happens.
However, I have had a neighbor that was interested.
Right, because a lot of neighbors want their friends to, or family.
Yeah, some do. So when you do, so I suggest that every chance you get to do an open house, do one. Okay, so let me just say this now, because I'm sure some of you are thinking it. in this market, you're not going to get a lot of people to show up. And there's a lot of people that are like, well, it doesn't do anything anymore, so why do it, right? I agree with that to the extent that if you've done an open house on your listing like 4 times, and nobody's coming anymore, you've done your due diligence, right? Like you've done everything you can for your client, right? The optics are good, but if after the 4th one, nobody showed up again, then that property's probably just been on the market too long and you've had a bunch of open houses and there's just not a buyer out there right now. So let's not like kill ourselves doing that. Find another house to do an open house on. But if you're just saying in general, it's not a good market, it's not a good time, I'm not going to do open houses anymore. My question would be on that blocking sheet, what are you going to replace it with? Because if you do nothing, you get nothing, right? You can't expect people to knock your door down to use you as an agent when there's probably 600 of us in New Braunfels, right? I mean, there's a lot, probably not that high, but you know what I'm saying, right? Like there's a lot of agents and there's other ones out there hustling. So if you're not, they're not going to know you or do business with you. So if you're going to not do open houses, what are you going to do? Do something else. Don't just leave the time blank. Okay.
Also, as the newest agent here, I currently have no business right now. I got my license in December. I've sold a couple homes, but it's been pretty stagnant for a little while. So I would love if y'all got listings.
I have a house you can do one in Cryle.
Yeah. call
And
on
the
me.
last one that I did there, like 3 or 4 people came through.
Nice.
I'm about to have one in New Braunfels that, and I work most of the weekends, so I can't usually do open houses. So
At least on the weekends.
Yeah.
Yeah, before this is done, let me get everybody's names
Yeah.
associated with the numbers in the group chat, and
Yeah.
then let me know, and I'll
And I also want to start using our
I'll
community
work on my
page
schedule.
again, you know, because it was helpful when we actually used it. Like somebody will put, I'm doing an open house, and then everybody would share it on their realtor page. And if you want to do an open house, you're like, hey, I'm available on Saturday. What do y'all got? You know, so that's a good way to communicate too. But yeah, we can switch numbers and everything too. I say it's possibly the best marketing because of that face-to-face, because it being cheap, because you can do it whenever you want. You know, I mean, it fits into any schedule. Just because you're doing it during the day.
Because it gives you time, even if nobody comes in, that's 4 hours that you are sitting there. That
You have no choice but to do real estate.
Yeah. I actually did a whole class.
Yeah,
I
she did a whole class
I
on
did
her
a whole
last
class
one.
at my last and got 6 hours of CE.
Or if we do it on Saturdays. then
remember, I did all those like 7
Sermons
hours of
done.
seed credit at the open house,
Yeah.
and then I did the wrong one.
Oh,
I had to
no.
redo all those hours.
Yeah.
no.
So,
it's fun to do social media videos at open houses.
yeah.
You know, especially unique homes. Like I saw Angie Hedrick did one. There was a slide in the home, and so she's like sliding down. Hey,
Yeah.
come on over to our open house. You know,
Yeah.
it's always fun stuff to do.
That would be cool. What if you ate it though? You know what I
That'd
mean?
be
If you
even
just
better.
came,
That'd be
yeah,
even
like
better.
on the blooper reel.
More
Here we
clicks.
go.
Yeah.
That would get way more likes and comments than the actual video.
We've always talked about doing the blooper ones.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, and then
Oh,
we
we
never
need to.
have. And
I know.
now,
I have a few
Brandon
files
and Lisa
saved.
started
Yeah.
doing that now. I'm like, dang it, we should have started.
They took
doing
it.
when we talked about it.
Should have.
You still can because they're still funny.
Yeah,
People
but
still
it's
laugh
still
about
good.
it.
always funny.
Yeah.
I'm sharing
Oh, cool.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
All right. Cool. So you do have to get materials for it, right? Like you got to have your cards. You need flyers for it. Flyers, again, title companies will help you with that. You need to have a sign-in sheet and possibly a giveaway. Okay. Now I'll say this. So the sign-in sheet is like something I put a note on the door that says everybody is asked to sign this. Okay. And if they don't want to, say, hey, homeowner wants to know who's coming into their house, especially if it's still occupied. If it's vacant, it's a little like, all right, you're stretching. But if it's not and their belongings are in that house, you have every right to tell them, no, you're signing in, right? Like we're not going to let you walk the house. Because if in a good market, when there's a lot of people at it, you can't watch everybody when there's multiple people going through the house. And so you need their information. But realistically, you need their information because you need to put them into your CRM the next day.
Now,
Or-
isn't that what the software's going to do? Didn't you say it had an open house thing?
It does.
So the Bold Trail has a thing with an app that you can have them sign in that way. I've always used the paper one, but you can do, you know,
Well, the
you can
cool
do
thing
that one.
about the app is converts it and puts them all.
Yeah.
That's what I
as-
like.
Yeah. So
Puts them all as
Into-
touch.
Is it the same one that KB for open house?
Yeah.
yes.
That one always messed up for me. for whatever
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah.
No.
Did they?
So just
Every house
so
would work
Maybe
great,
a little bit of
but-
both.
yeah. So just have a paper backup
Have
if
a
it's not
backup.
working, you know. And I do have a form that has that is a sign-in sheet, and it's pretty detailed. So if you want it, I can share it with you. So the giveaway
You
is
have a bucket too. Do you have it? Or is it still at
Bucket?
the open house?
Yeah,
bucket?
yeah, I have it.
oh yeah.
I've been doing
There
it.
so okay, wait,
And
let
have
me
flags and have-
Tammy has a bucket. We all just kind of
Yeah, we just shared it. So if you need it,
Tammy/everyone's.
Yeah.
it has like everything. It
Has a lot of
like-
stuff,
Yeah,
yeah.
they bring out those open house signs and stuff. And
I've got a ton too.
Yeah.
It's up to you. Hold on. To
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, everybody should have their own because I would anticipate that as it grows, there's going to be multiple
Yeah.
people doing
Overlap,
open houses
yeah.
on the same day, and we don't want to get into I need 3, I need 6. You know, like
And
we don't want to
they're
get into that. No, they're not. So last thing on the sign-in sheet. Okay, so if you're having the paper one, always choose like a friend and fill it out legibly and completely, like the first one.
Yeah.
So it looks like somebody's already come through and it's filled out correctly, which psychologically makes that next person think that they need to also.
Yeah.
It's just kind of a little trick. Okay. So a giveaway. Now, this is something I haven't really used in like this, I'll call it a down market. Okay. I haven't really done that because you get like 1 to 2 people and you have like 1 or 2 people on the sign in and it's just kind of, it's like, all right, so it's 50-50 or you know what I mean? But when you have quite a few people come through, it's a good way to get them to actually do the sign up sheet and do a giveaway. The other thing is if you're going to do like a gift card to like Home Depot or something, you know, like something that everybody could use when they're moving. You don't want to spend that $25 and then not have anybody show up and already have the card, or, you know, have like one person show up and you spend $25 on that. Now, I will say that when you do them, let's say you have 5 people show up and you said you're doing a $25, you know, Home Depot card. When you call and follow up with them, they all won. Okay. Every single one of them won the Home Depot card. And you just want to know when you can come to their house, give it to them and talk about selling their house or buying that one or whatever. Right. Because I don't know about you, but I would pay $25 to sit down with anybody.
Yeah,
Right.
For
A listing appointment.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I would pay $25 for a foot in the door. Right. That's just that's like the cheapest marketing at the best return ever. Because now all I got to do is I got to convince them to sign the line. Right. So you can use that to your advantage, and everybody who came in, they won the gift card. And some of them be like, nah, I don't even, nah, because they know what you're going to be there for.
Right.
It's not to give them a card, right? It's to get their business. And so, but some of them more than likely will, you know, it's like how many people go to a timeshare meeting, but they're not buying a timeshare. They just want the $50 at the casino floor. You know what I mean? Right. So you're going to get some skepticism, but you're going to have that foot in the door, and it's up to your salesmanship to get them to go. So that can be a good tactic and to get more listing appointments, or, you know, buyer rep appointments even. Who cares if they don't have something to sell, you know?
Well, people love giveaways. That's how I sometimes incentivize people to do the sign-in sheet. I need your information for the giveaway. Please put as much information as you can on here.
Yep.
So I can contact you.
So those definitely work. Sign placement is important. Like most places will have two forms of ingress and egress, right, from main streets. And you want to hit signage on both of them, not just one, so that you can maximize the roadside visibility and people just kind of, oh, let's go check it out. You know, that's a good way to obviously get people to come to it rather than the, you know, Facebook advertising or whatever. There's that, and then follow up with every visitor, right? I mean, don't waste an opportunity because they didn't seem too interested or whatever. I don't even care if they said they have an agent. Like, okay, you have an agent, but have you signed an agreement with them? You know what I mean? I'm still calling you. Do be careful with that though. Like if they say it again the second time and insist that they have an agent, then you don't want to break any Trek rules by trying to do anything with them while they are under an agreement. So, okay, so that's pretty much it. It all means nothing without application. So you have to go out and do it. You can't just talk about it. Any questions, comments, concerns?
No, look, I got this so that I would start blocking,
Yeah.
I have that
and
one
I
too.
never use it. I mean, I tried, but I mean, I do write all in here, but I'm horrible about time blocking. I've tried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like too, as an agent, our schedules have to be so flexible
Mm-hmm.
at what we do because you never know, especially in this market. If somebody calls me and says, "Hey Tammy, I want to look at houses tonight. I'm ready to buy," and I have a dinner date, my dinner date's getting canceled.
Yeah.
So
Well, and that is why I said leave the afternoon, evenings open, right? Because a lot of buyers do want to see at that time frame because they're not working,
right.
right? I would say, like I said, leave gaps, right? And just put like for you, if you're not good with it, just put like on Monday I'm gonna do X, right? Not a time frame, just today I'm gonna do. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna force myself to do whatever that is. Yeah, because it really is about accountability.
Yeah, and I suppose even if it's at least one task that you do every day, at least you've accomplished.
You're doing something
instead of nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's I feel like I work all day and then I
Yeah.
because I don't feel like, so I've actually in the last 2 weeks when I sit down every morning I write down make my list and then I start and that's helps.
Yeah.
I started doing what you said.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm working on something and I think about something else that I was supposed to be doing, I write it down.
Yeah.
So that I can come back to it and be like, okay, what else did I need to do?
Yeah, and quit focusing.
Yeah, because we're all a little ADD, right?
I'll easily go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
I'll easily go down. So that's why I got this book. So now I'll be talking about something. See right there? These are all my little reminders.
That's what I need. I just have all these different spirals.
Well, the reason
You know, I like have real estate, and then I have this business. I need just one big spiral.
Yes. I did this because every time I slid my computer in and out, it was mashing everything.
Yeah.
So this kind of keeps it from getting smashed.
Good idea. RJ.
Okay, so that
The
they didn't choose me.
Huh?
They
You're gonna be
didn't
on
want me to
TV?
go- Yeah, but
He did
what
his
they
interview
didn't
with
tell
him.
me,
What?
you have to pay
What's
$4,000 to be on it.
What TV show?
It's called The Blocks. It's like a
How much?
entrepreneur startup. $4,000.
He's gone through like
$4,000.
I'm gonna be on your show.
Right.
You should pay me.
Yeah, who's making money here? Hold on.
Yeah. What channel was it gonna be?
It's on Amazon Prime. It's called The Blocks. It's like a business entrepreneurship, but I don't have $4,000 to pay them. So
To be on their show? No.
That's what they have
He
But
went
that
through
would
like
be-
4 interviews.
yeah, that would be such
He kept
good
making it
exposure
to the
though.
next thing, and then Monday was a live, in
Phone call, whatever, with the producers or whatever,
Huh.
whoever they were.
Seriously?
That's kind of wild.
And now they want $4,000. We're not being recorded
It's
anymore,
insane.
are we?
Yep.
all I did was
Oh.
Do you want me to turn the mic off?
Oh.
What?
You know how I feel about that.
Are y'all related?
You don't
Yeah,
mind me?
Mom's friend.
Well, I just saw the names and I was like, oh, well, hi, that's wonderful. Okay, good. I'm just learning as I go. Don't mind me.
Okay, so now we're just going to do
Give me all my
regular
Diet
stuff,
Cokes.
like-
This one's cold.
I should go ahead and
The other
get.
one back in the fridge.
Oh, I should have.
I should probably go ahead and put Bo's house back on the market right now, right? I mean, they're
Sure
going to do it anyways.
You already have all the paperwork in place?
Oh, we're gonna list it at 340.
That's what it's at already. Whenever, can I just go back and just back on market with it? Because it's already in my.
Did you withdraw it, or how did you take it off market?
Yeah, I withdrew it.
You might be able to just go back.
But then it's gonna just say back on market and not new.
Yeah, it'll say back on market. It won't say new listing, but it'll still ping most of the same things. And then it'll say like days on market. It'll start at 1, but then cumulative days on market will have the other 10. The other 10. So
Okay.
yeah, it should.
Can I close this window?
Yeah, go for it. Okay. What else are we working on? What did you want to go over? You want to go over something? You're like, that was 40 minutes ago.
No, it was just putting in the contacts, but
Oh
you think it's gonna
We'll
be
ask
once
about
y'all
that.
do that.
Yeah, we'll ask about that today.
And I bet because when I did, okay. So I started watching the video and then I was like, I can do this.
What
So
video?
then I was, because it brought up
the onboarding video?
yeah,
Yeah, we
well, it
watched
started
it,
showing you a video of how to do it, right?
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, I guess I should quit being a man and go back and watch the video, the instructions.
Actually do the instructions.
But then what it said wasn't like completely on there, so it probably is what you said.
Yeah. I would bet.
You know, us women get on our men all the time about just read the instructions.
Right.
And then I was like, trying to
I learned
get
a while
around it.
ago you just read the stupid instructions.
Is there anything I can do to start preparing to like watch videos on it? Because I enjoy doing that. Anything that
Well, the
you
only
learn
thing.
it all and then you teach us.
Yeah. You're gonna be doing classes in no
Sister,
time.
it's a cowboy hat.
Yeah, I told you.
I was like, there's a black dog on your.
What's
Oh,
this smudge?
I see it.
Oh, it's a cowboy hat.
I was like, it's a cowboy hat. I tried to make it white so that it was more
You're funny.
seeable. But on Canva, I would pick the white cowboy hat, but then when it would put it on there, it would just open it up and it was clear
Ew.
Oh.
and not white. So then you saw the purple through it, so
Yeah,
it didn't do
so
what
she
I was.
sent it to me, and I was like, "There's some black marks, squiggly marks on top of your D," and she's like, "It's a cowboy hat." And I see it now, but when I first saw it, I thought, "Oh, it looks like you took a black marker and like."
Wait, so how do
then-
I find my off-market listings? The ones that are.
Are you under Central Text?
What are you on syntax? So
My
drop down,
listing.
and then it should be like withdrawn in the last X amount of days, or
Yeah.
or
I think they're in alphabetical order.
This is like my incomplete within the 30 days, my incomplete
Yeah.
within 1 to 3, my active under contract pending, expiring listings, my expired listings,
would it
No,
would
it
it have
didn't
already
expire.
expired?
my off-market listings. There we
you
go.
Got it.
Found it. Wait. Oh yeah, just kidding. This is it.
So that commercial property on Highway 80 that I've had listed for how long? Like
Yeah,
forever.
And
Yeah.
Lockhart.
like 9 months or something
Braley,
like that.
yeah. I actually have a buyer.
Really?
They just they have a piece of property for sale in Wimberley. So as soon as it sells, their mother-in-law and them are gonna go in together. They want to make it a plant nursery. I was like, that is a perfect place for a plant nursery.
Yeah.
I love that.
So do you have a contingent offer, or
No, they want to wait till the
So how would I go back and put this back active?
edit at the bottom.
I clicked edit, but it told me
we'll go to the
cannot edit that listing.
Why?
That's so the date that you put in there, would it have already been expired?
Expire? No, it doesn't expire till February 4th of 2025.
Okay. And what is it listed right now? It's withdrawn or withdrawn.
Yeah.
And you can't edit it all?
You know what?
You're just showing at the bottom,
And so
It's just
it's
like,
always
oh
on
no.
this stuff, but now that I
Just
made
reset the whole
change
thing.
my
Cannot edit that.
stain from the black
Maybe if I
gold to
check it first.
all the purple, I'm really getting sick. I need to change my computer code. But I had a picture of the grandbaby right here, and all of a sudden it went to purple, and I don't know. how to get-
Email support
Is the picture saying
the
that you're not?
central mutual
I think he
support.
understood
And
that.
say like get the listing number,
Oh, just
and
play
then-
setting.
ask them if you
Don't get
can
me
redo it.
on.
Because you got to go to edit before it gives you that list of what do you want to
Yeah.
edit: pictures, residential form, status. But if you can't do that,
Hey, I put my 18 acres up last night.
You did? Yes.
do you have a post on it?
And just FYI, I'm available for open house next weekend. Just not the week after. I'll be out of town the weekend of the 18th. But then I could start again,
So the
the
12th.
following week. Yeah, the 12th, 26th, 2nd.
Do you want to do one at mine on the 12th? I know.
Sure. What's the
I'll be
address?
out of town, so I can't help
That's okay.
leading up to or after. I'll make a flyer before,
Oh, perfect.
and I can put it on all the MLSs.
What's the address?
100 Hunter Drive, Ohio.
Got it.
I'll text you the look. I've gotten good about putting things in my notes, and I look at it every day. Like, look at that note here. Otherwise, I forget.
So you want to do it? You're just doing it on your phone.
Uh-huh.
What's the support email?
Text,
Oh,
I can't find it.
go to.
What would it be? Maybe about
I'll text you the code.
Awesome. Anything I need to know about the house?
Take a lot here. It's empty.
Okay.
Mine's empty
There's
too,
nothing
if you ever
there.
do one at mine.
I have a little
Oh, I
table
found
I
it.
set up
You got it?
with a little.
I have
We're
a
still
whole
trying to log in.
countertop at my place.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
a countertop there too.
Okay, and you're going live with yours right now for both.
yes. As
And
soon
he
as
still
they.
lives in it, right?
on the edge of it.
So
the
why
other
don't you
neighbors
ask
can
him
connect
if
to
he
it
wants to
really
have an open
nice.
house?
So,
What was the next date? You have the 12th and what else?
The 12th, 26th.
You want to see if you want to do one on the 26th?
Yep.
And then you can do his if he's going live right now.
Okay. Yes, me, I'm doing yours on the 12th. What times do you prefer?
what?
It's vacant, right?
Whatever's good for you.
Whatever you want to do.
When it's warm, honestly, we had a great open house right down here, but also because people are walking around for farmers market. But we did it 9 to 11. We had so many people show up, and they were like, "Oh, this is a unique time," but worked out great because it's so cool and blah blah blah. So I feel like in the cooler or the hotter times, like that early, people are out driving around,
Yeah.
driving their kids to games, and yeah.
Yeah. I do 10.
Yeah.
What did you say? Oh,
I
I
said
did
9 to 11.
10 to
I would do at least
3.
3 hours.
you do
If I
10
was
to
gonna do
2.
it. That might like just
Yeah.
geographically down there because of market and stuff like
Yeah.
that probably worked out really well.
Yeah, I usually do
But-
like 10 to 2 or 10 to 3.
Yeah.
Or 11 to 3.
But if you want to start at 9, then do like
I'll do 9 to 12.
9 to 12.
Yeah.
9 to 1,
Or yeah, I'll extend it to 1 if I'm getting a lot of action.
And I already have like an open house flyer thing that the guy that we use for all our pictures, he always does up all that stuff for you. So I'll email it to you.
Oh, awesome. Perfect.
He did pictures last night at one of my new listings, and I already had them in my email list. And he didn't do them till like
Brings-
5 o'clock yesterday.
Yeah, he's awesome, man. He's gonna come here for our open house.
Tomorrow.
So shall we talk about the open
Oh,
house?
I got an email. Rob.
Put that on my calendar. When is it?
Okay, so we're going to be doing a grand opening, right? For like just people, friends, family, whatever. That's going to be on the 22nd from like 3 to 6. I don't have to drink for 3 hours. She's acting like she's bummed about it too.
Sign me up. Send me a darty.
Yeah, right.
And that's going to be from 3 to 6. And then we're doing a realtor specific open house grand opening. What are we calling it? You can't call it open house.
Yeah, I think we should
It's
call
weird.
A broker open house? Or
Even that is like it's an open
Yeah.
house,
Broker's
right?
open,
It's like,
yeah.
no, that doesn't sound right. We'll figure that out.
Oh, a lot of people just call it open house though,
Yeah.
even for businesses.
Why does it say-
Open business. Open office.
we gotta have a better name.
Anyway, so on the
Open door.
24th, from the 24th we're doing the realtor one on the 24th from 3 to 6, and that's when we're going to try.
Oh, this is typing everything that you're saying.
We're going
This
to.
is my notes of what I need to do today. Is
You're
typing.
getting the full version. That's when we're going to try to have Scott come out and do a headshot booth. So like he's gonna all the agents that come are going to get a free headshot.
Oh, I need new headshots.
Of course, he's going to try to upsell. You know what I mean? Because that's what he does. But I think more than anything, he just wants to capture email so that he can market himself to agents.
I think
Well,
that's a great
agents
idea,
need
though.
to know more about him because he's awesome.
He is.
And he does a lot he's not, for everything that you get with him.
If we tell too many people, though, he's going to start being busy.
I know, that's why I'm like.
But that's okay. By then,
I'm selfish.
I'll be as more
Yeah,
better.
she's doing photography too.
Yeah.
No, he gets like he gets on it.
He gives you a lot of things that other people charge a lot for.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I thought for a second about trying to figure out real estate photography.
Yeah.
That's confusing.
It is, but I've got a good teacher, so
There's
I'm
a lot to
excited.
it.
Yeah. Yeah, because I tried it by myself one time. I got the DSLR camera, and I was like, I can do this. I've watched a couple YouTube videos. It was total crap.
When's the one for just agents?
That's the 24th.
So we have to drink 2 days that week.
Woohoo!
Is that one from 3 to 6 also?
You act like this is
How
like
about
dreadful thing to
office-
do.
How about we call
Love
it
having a
our office
cocktail.
warming party?
Oh, yeah.
Why are you complaining?
Office warming party?
Okay. Tell me.
Office lunch?
Office
We should
lunch
do it.
party.
Or office
Let's put a bounce house in the parking lot.
unveiling?
Make it like a whole event.
A what?
Can you even do that here?
I'm sure.
A what?
A bounce house. I have a bounce
Yeah,
house
the
rental
bounce
company.
house business.
Business hours.
Oh,
I have
that's
a
right.
bunch of them.
Like an adult bouncy house?
Mhm.
Oh,
But if we
it's
had
like-
a bounce house out here,
house?
people off the street would just be coming in. Like,
Right?
Yeah, on our grand opening day.
Are we gonna have puke buckets?
That's a bunch of drunk people.
That's what I'm thinking. Drunk people
That
bouncing?
would be wild.
Puke everywhere.
we could put the obstacle course down this
Oh
alleyway.
my god.
Okay.
Have a chug
All right,
room.
we're off the rails here.
I like that office.
Warming party, office.
Now you're off.
unveiling.
You're welcome to hand out cards to agents and be like, hey, if you're doing an open
Yeah.
There
house
is
or party.
office.
I know I need to redo. Oh, I guess
I don't like
I should
the
do
new
it on
office
camera.
showcase.
I need to redo my business
No.
cards.
I like showcase showdown.
New office.
Are you
kickoff.
gonna stick with you won't have to remake your signs if you stick with regular night colors that you do. I didn't know if you were gonna rebrand like Tammy
No, I'm gonna leave
rebranded
it.
and I rebranded
I'm gonna leave it red and black.
because he's a man.
I like it.
No, I was excited telling Dan I could just repurpose my old LPT ones.
Oh, you know what I
Office
did,
warming
Ty?
party.
I took all your things out and put them in mine. I have to give you.
No, I'm fine with that.
What are they?
But
Your
you
math
do
signs.
new office warming. That's long. How about just office
Office
warming
warming
party?
party.
Yeah. Do that new. I know that.
And people know housewarming party.
So office warming party. We want to call both of them office warming party. The realtor and our family.
I think the other one's
yeah.
brand.
Probably just keeping the same.
Oh, I thought was the other one's brand
Family
name?
preview. Family preview.
Family preview. Works.
Family preview day.
Friends and family preview.
What they previewing?
The
Our new
office.
office. So
Say office preview.
friends and family.
Office preview. Otherwise, we sound like we're a